Is anyone else not feeling quite so prepared for a crisis lately? Bueller? Just me? Well, don't worry. Today we are going to attack how to create an at-home emergency cooking, cleaning, and hygiene kit on a budget, of course. It's Emergency Prep Series Video 2. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Sarah, also known as Budget Girl around these parts, and I should be more prepared for emergencies than I am. I used to live in hurricane land down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I've lived in areas where tornadoes were a real threat, and I'm currently living through what we're all living through right now. I figured the best time to prepare is yesterday. The second best time to prepare is now. So I am coming at you with an at-home emergency cooking, cleaning, and hygiene kit. I honestly think that this is something that every single person should have in their homes, and I feel a lot more control and safer knowing that I have it. Yes, it's in another 5-gallon bucket. I just did a 5-gallon bucket emergency food kit video, which you should definitely check out because this builds on this. They go together. Don't worry, there is not a third bucket. There are only 2 buckets. Let's get into how to prepare for an emergency power outage, evacuation, emergency water shutoff, a fire, other real reasonable world thing that could and likely will happen to you and your family at some point in their lives. You can be better prepared for it. I also have 2 more videos in this series coming up, possibly 3. You have to tell me below. I have an emergency bug out bag tutorial and an emergency car and pet tutorial videos. So those are coming up. Wait for them. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video so that you don't miss out on them. All of these are done on a microscopic budget. Most of the stuff that is in this kit is stuff that I already had in my home, which is fantastic. The bug out bags are the same way. I'm gonna teach you how to do it for way less than you could purchase this pre-made kit for, and because you've assembled it yourself and you know what's in here, it's going to cost you less. You will know how to deal with the situation and you're going to feel more prepared. And seriously, if you haven't seen my 1-week emergency food kit video, it's under $30. An entire week's worth of food is in here, ready to go in case of a situation where you either can't leave to go to the store, if you have to evacuate and you don't have any food on you. A lot of stuff can be helped with 1 week worth of comfort, yummy food for you and your family. You can't do it cheaper than this. So check out that video below. I also have a free kit planner, cost estimator, and checklist for you over on budgetgirl.com for that and for this. So all the tools you need to get this done here for you, so I got you back. In the comments on the food kit video, a lot of you guys said, but how would you cook it if the power went off? That's where this video comes in. A lot of you also said you need to store water. We do. I just didn't include it in there because 48 hours of water, 72 hours of water will not fit in a 5-gallon bucket. You should, however, according to FEMA and ready.gov guidelines, store 1 gallon per person per day of water, plus 1 for any pets. So for Jacob and me, that would be 7 gallons of water. I have some here. I also store some in my shed. I actually probably need to rotate that out because it's a little old. And I also have a 5-gallon fillable emergency water bucket that I've had for many years because I did actually keep water on hand back when I was living in Louisiana. Power went out a lot, and anytime they shut the water off here, I always pull that out, fill it up, leave it in the tub, just in case. It's always good to have water on hand. So, also in those situations, that's where this handy dandy second 5-gallon bucket comes in. Now, Sarah, why are you so obsessed with 5-gallon buckets? And it's because they are crazy useful. First, these are highly portable. I can pick up both of my 5-gallon buckets in either of my hands, take this out to my car and evacuate with it if, say, there is a fire or a hurricane where we have to evacuate. If there is a tornado, we could throw this in the car to go. If we had to evacuate on foot, technically Jacob and I could carry these. It would not be fun, but we could. These buckets could be used to wash dishes in, to take a bath in, kind of, you know what I mean here. It can be used for sanitation purposes. You can wash dishes in them. You can store things in them. They are airtight. tight, watertight. You could transport water in these. A 5-gallon bucket is super cheap and super nice. The cheapest place that I've found them is actually at Walmart. You can get these food grade 5-gallon white buckets and a lid for less than $5 total. You can also get them at like Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places. You also don't necessarily need a food grade bucket. You can just use one of those ones, that the orange ones that have the Home Depot logo on them if they're cheaper. It's fine. It's just a way to store something to keep mice and bugsies and stuff from getting inside them. So that's why I love a 5-gallon bucket. And there's also another reason I love a 5-gallon bucket. Now, I personally, thankfully, never had to partake of this, but the very first thing that is in my 5-gallon bucket / on my 5-gallon bucket is a toilet. So this is a toilet bucket seat. And it is an adapter to make any 5-gallon bucket into a potty. Now, this is something nobody likes to talk about, nobody likes to think about, but if your water gets shut off for an extended period of time, where are you going to go to the bathroom? Fortunately, that is not a problem that most of us have on a daily basis. However, it's something that could happen to any of us. Now, I've had my water shut off for the day at my apartment, and it's not that bad. I would just, we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, so we could go to the grocery store and use the restroom there, or the gym if they were working on the water lines and the power was going to be out all day. However, say we're in a situation like we are now and we can't leave the house. A 5-gallon bucket can turn into a toilet with one of these and toilet seat bags. So these go through, these fit into the bucket. I guess you could use any thick trash bag. I would probably not use the cheap or like a Walmart bag for them, but these are biohazard bags. You can put these on the bucket, attach your emergency toilet seat, and then have a way to use the restroom while there's no water. These are not fun things to think about or talk about, but they're things that I honestly think we should all be prepared for. So these, plus a roll of good old-fashioned toilet paper, are the very first things that go in my emergency cleaning, cooking, and hygiene kit. Next up, source of light. This is a portable lantern. I have the batteries in a separate bag here just so they don't rot, but this is LED. It just takes some AAA batteries and this will illuminate an entire room. I've used it for camping before. It's very high quality. Light is absolutely a must in an emergency situation, so make sure you have some of that. I also have a long burning candle in here. This is just from the Dollar Tree. It actually has a spooky face on it because I've used these as Halloween decorations before, but it would definitely cast off some light and just a little bit of heat in an emergency. And like I said, I'm using what I already have in here. I want to make sure that I'm prepared, and I'm starting to get prepared right now and not waiting for the next disaster to happen to start to get prepared. So the way I'm doing this is I have my checklist that I generated that is free for you guys on budgetgirl.com. I'm putting everything that I have around in here, and then I'm making a list of what I need to purchase, how much it's going to cost, and when I plan to purchase it so that I can make sure to get this done. Next up for hygiene, roll of paper towels. And I also have 2 little sponges and a thing of Dr. Bronner's Castile soap in there. So when I'm cooking, when I'm cleaning, I have a way to do so. This soap is organic, so I could use it on my body, on dishes, on whatever. These I pulled out from under my sink, put in a bag, and said, all right, those are gonna be emergency supplies now. This is a little bottle of Clorox bleach, excellent for cleaning and also for water purifying. If necessary, I will list I think it's 9 drops to a gallon, but don't trust me on that. Follow the link below that will teach you how the recipe for purifying water. I'm also going to link below the comprehensive list of everything that the United States government recommends that every family have in their home for an emergency, including water, including 72 hours of shelf-stable food like in our first kit, including all of the stuff I have shown so far. Though they don't have an emergency potty in there, I think that's something that they left off. I think there should be an emergency potty in everyone's home. Costs basically nothing and so smart to have. Matches, trash bags, bandana, a drop cloth. I keep these, a lot of these, I use them for spray painting for projects, but they can also be used to clear off a spot on the ground if you need it, or secure food, secure shelter, secure a home environment. It's also on the list. Cleaning gloves, some matches, and a screwdriver set. This is just a cheapo one I got at the Dollar Tree. I'm actually not certain how great it would be in the case of an emergency, and I'm considering replacing it with one of the many screwdrivers that I have in my shed. That would probably work a lot better, because if you're anything like me, you have about 10 screwdrivers and you don't know where you got them all. And they are different sizes, they're just the same Phillips and flathead. Also in the tool vein, I have a wrench. It would be for shutting off water, for tightening, loosening things. It's just a good tool to have and is hard to replace if you don't have it. Work gloves, these were $2 at the Home Depot or Lowe's. Just protect you from getting your hands dirty if there were any sort of, these I mostly prepared because in hurricane type disasters and in tornado type disasters, you might have to end up moving a bunch of wood and other stuff that's gotten on your car that's flown around. Basically just protect your hands, don't make the situation worse. Those batteries. All right, here is a mess kit. This is actually United States military mess kit from 1966. It was my grandfather's when he was in the military. It is, I'll show you a more modern mess kit too. Here's the plate. This is the thing you cook with. And here's some utensils. This has been used a lot, actually. It has Vince Wilson's, my uncle's, name scratched onto it because he used it when he was in the military, and then it has my name scratched onto it because I used it when I was in Girl Scouts. So this is in here mostly because it seemed like the best place to put this. I actually have more modern mess kits that I prefer, so this is kind of a backup. I have modern mess kits in both of our bug out bags, which will be a video coming soon, but this would be a way to cook some food in an emergency situation, and of course it's very compact, so it seemed like a good place to put it. You could also keep just an old pot in here. Now I wouldn't recommend one that has like a non-stick coating on it because you're cooking it over fire. That's gonna be a problem, but it will work. As for cooking, first off, if the power goes out, I have a grill. A propane grill outside that we use a lot. We keep a full large tank of propane right here at our home just in case we need it, and we use it for grilling fun, and that would be a secondary source and a way to cook food in an emergency. Also in here I have a little folding stove with some fuel and some extra fuel. These are about $5. And I'm gonna show you another way to cook stuff soon, but what I really like about these is that essentially it's just a little pop-up stove, and you light one of these fuel cubes on fire and it burns for a couple of hours and you can cook stuff on top of it. And there you go, a way to cook your food. You could also put a normal pot on here, and you could also just like light a small fire and keep fueling this if you ran out of fuel tubes. But this is a very small, very compact way to cook in an emergency situation, so I keep that in here. I do also have some propane and butane bags and a little pop-up circular stove, but I keep those in my bug out kit. So these go in emergency supplies bucket. The others are a little bit more portable, so they go in the bug out bag. Ideally, in an emergency, I would grab both and leave, and I would have multiple ways to cook. And if not, then the bug in situation, we have the grill, we have the regular stove, totally fine. Next, I have a first aid kit and a bottle of just over-the-counter pain reliever. The kit I have added some stuff to. I've added some little packets of Tylenol and Motrin, and I've also added a bunch of gloves and a couple of face masks, just the regular sterile mask kind that I had from before all this started. And I'm also adding some nitrile gloves in here for cooking or other first aidy things. Next, I have some super glue and some duct tape. Both of these I had on hand. They are originally from the Dollar Tree, and I just thought they would be a good addition to the kit. You never know when you might need to fix something up in various ways. You can use those for both first aid purposes and for others. Next, I have a couple of chopping mats. These are actually my favorite mats that I used to cook with all the time. They're from the Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack, and they could be used for preparing food in an emergency situation on the go and keeping just a sterile food and cooking surface. They also just fit right along the side of the bucket. Next, I have some water purification tablets. Unfortunately, I've had these there's no expiration date on them. I should probably replace them when all of this is over, but I honestly don't know how old these are. These might be from like my Girl Scout days, which was a while ago. I was like a camp counselor at Girl Scout camps in high school. So it could be as, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that, but those probably need to be replaced. The bleach is secondary. I just thought old gear is better than no gear. And finally in here I have this, which looks insane. This is actually a picnic kit from one of those FabFitFun boxes. Now, every couple of years that company and several others reach out to me, even though I've never given one a good review ever, and they offer to send me a kit for a review. And I always do it because I like free stuff, but I would never pay for one. So there you go. And honestly, I used to have a lot of picnic stuff and I never go on picnics because I'm a normal person. But this, I finally found a use for it. It has 2 plastic plates, a set of utensils, and I've added in some small silicone servingware, a knife, some tongs, a spatula, and a little whisk. Essentially everything that I would need to cook anything in my 72-hour to a week, depending on how many people you have, food kit. And I also have some knives in here, some cooking knives. So this is a nice compact way to A, use something that was never gonna get used before, and B, utilize what I have as emergency supplies. Okay, that is everything that I have in my emergency supplies kit, which includes cooking, cleaning, and hygiene-based items in the case of an emergency. Do you have anything like this set aside, saved? Is there anything you think that I should add to this? I use CDC guidelines. I use the FEMA list as suggestions. I've also done a lot of prepper research myself. I used to be a lot more into this and I've just gotten out of it. I'm glad I'm getting back into it again, and I really hope you are enjoying this series. I had a lot of fun putting all of this together, and honestly, it makes me feel a lot more in control and more prepared for emergencies like the one we're in now. So whether we are having to stay at home or whether we have to leave our homes one day because of an emergency, I'll be just that much more prepared to go. And I hope this helped you as you're planning emergency preparedness for your family. Remember that your family's emergency gear should fit your family. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing. I don't think this would necessarily be as effective if I had a bunch of little kids. I would have to amend this if I had some little kids. Maybe put some toys in here. Obviously some more servingware at the very least. I am looking forward to your suggestions, and don't forget to go to budgetgirl.com to get the free emergency kit, planner, cost estimator, shopping list, and checklist that is there for this cleaning, cooking, and hygiene kit. It is also there for the 48-hour to 1-week food kit. I think you should definitely check them out. I didn't do a cost estimator on this. Actually, I did. It's in the kit. You can see what I put in there. A lot of it says 0. A lot of the cost, because I just pulled them out. For instance, I didn't buy this wrench. I just looked and found out that I had 3 wrenches in my shed, and I decided to designate one as the emergency one. So I honestly think you can probably get a little bit more prepared by pulling together some of the stuff you have around, and then you can make a list of what you need and shop for it when it's safe. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you liked it. It really helps my channel. And if you're brand new here, new to prepping, new to trying to get your finances together, or just hanging out on the internet, clicking on some random chick's video and you made it this far, thank you and hi, and I would love for you to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe. Bye.